So I have created a stock portfolio of 6 stocks that cover the entire market in a simplified way. Using daily buys to dollar cost average into these stocks will let anyone beat the market. I'm calling this portfolio the Infinity Gauntlet. The portfolio consists of 6 stocks: ETHA, IBIT, SPYG, SPYD, VXUS, and BND. Together, ETHA and IBIT cover the new global financial system. SPYG and SPYD cover the entire U.S. market with a focus on growth and dividend income. VXUS covers the rest of the global stock market outside of the U.S., and BND covers the whole U.S. bond market, which serves as a safety net of cash that earns interest. ETHA gives exposure to the crypto Ethereum, which is the biggest smart contract platform in the crypto market. By buying Ethereum, you are buying the underlying network that is powering all of the biggest decentralized applications of what is now being called Web3. Eventually, this ETF could also add in a dividend income from staking Ethereum. IBIT gives exposure to the king of the crypto market, Bitcoin, which is many things all at once. It's digital gold and could be the new and improved form of gold, the new global savings account of the world, the first truly finite asset in the world. This asset could absorb money from all other assets that are used as a store of value, potentially freeing up housing and stocks. It created the first truly free, open 24/7 market. It is borderless and can be accessed from anywhere in the world, so it can be moved anywhere in the world for free and privately. It is money owned and controlled by the people, for the people, free of government or bank corruption and control. Anyone in the world can store their money in Bitcoin and use it, send it, or bring it anywhere in the world with nobody else's permission needed. SPYG is a basket of the top 500 U.S. stocks that are focused on growth. Sectors include technology, communication services, consumer cyclical, financial services, industrials, healthcare, consumer defensive, real estate, utilities, energy, and basic materials. Its top holdings are NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Meta, Amazon, Broadcom, Tesla, Google, and Visa. It has a low expense ratio compared to SPY and pays out a very small dividend of 0.58%. SPYD is a basket of the top 500 U.S. stocks that pay high dividend yields for passive income. Sectors include real estate, utilities, consumer defensive, financial services, energy, consumer cyclical, healthcare, communication services, industrials, basic materials, and technology. The top 10 holdings are Philip Morris, AT&T, Hasbro, Kenvue, Crown Castle, Consolidated Edison, Altria, CVS, Eversource, and Franklin Resources. This stock provides passive income because it pays out a 4.72% dividend yield. VXUS is a basket of international stocks outside of the United States. Sectors include financial services, industrials, technology, consumer cyclical, healthcare, basic materials, consumer defensive, communication services, energy, utilities, and real estate. The top 10 holdings are Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, Tencent, SAP SE, Alibaba, Nestle, ASML, Roche, Shell plc, AstraZeneca, and Novartis. This is a growth stock like SPYG, except it's the entire global market excluding the US. BND is a basket of US government, corporate, and securitized bonds. Sectors include government bonds, also known as Treasury or T-bills, corporate bonds, securitized bonds, cash, and municipal bonds. The top 10 holdings are US Treasury notes. Bonds pay interest over time, so this stock pays out a yield of 4.42% for more passive income like SPYD. This is also a safety net in the portfolio that shields against market downturns. It's like having cash, but you get interest on it and potentially growth in market downturns. You could also add gold and silver into the mix with GLD and SLV. I personally don't think many of the precious metals stocks are actually backed by anything and are probably using some sort of fractional reserve system. Instead of buying gold and silver trust stocks, I would recommend buying physical precious metals instead. JM Bullion lets you buy precious metals online using different payment methods for different prices. The cheapest is a bank wire, second cheapest is using crypto, and the most expensive way is using a credit card. However, you could use a card like the Robinhood Gold card to buy gold from JM Bullion and get 3% cash back on your investment that you can then transfer the rewards into Robinhood to invest further. By setting up daily buys on these stocks, you will be doing what is called dollar cost averaging. This is a stress-free way of investing because you don't have to time the market. You just spend time in the market and let the market work for you. I personally am doing $1 a day into each of these stocks in both a Roth IRA and an individual account. So I'm evenly dispersing my money across the 6. However, every person can take this idea and change the allocation amounts to each piece to fit their needs. If you are younger and have more time to wait for growth and take risks, you may want to allocate heavier to IBIT and ETHA and lighter into income stocks like SPYD and BND. If you are older, you may want to just focus on parking your money somewhere for income because you don't have time for growth or risk. You would want to allocate heavier to SPYD and BND and lighter on the high risk reward stuff like IBIT and ETHA. If you have more money to invest, you can also up the amount into each one of these. Each person will have to decide how much in total and what their spread between the assets will be depending on how much they can afford to invest and their timeline. At the very most, I would max out the $7,000 cap for a Roth IRA account each year. No matter how much you plan on investing, buying consistently every day, no matter the market conditions, will help protect you from big market swings. If you are always buying, then short-term moves won't matter. You will be playing the long game and unaffected by short-term noise. I started this experiment right when Trump announced his tariff plans to see if DCAing really works and how these different assets would compare over time with the same allocation every day. So far, I am now way above where I started out, even though I was buying the entire time the market was going down and people were panic selling. I started the experiment with an even portfolio, but now I have just reallocated to make them all even again and consolidated it down to just 6 stocks to make it as simple as possible. So far, Ethereum was the best performer since the start. I think that IBIT and ETHA will outperform the entire US markets, international markets, and bonds. I will continue to DCA into each one of these equally, and I will make a video of its status a year from now to compare the results.